Today we're going to talk about ladder safety, brought to you by the Division of Environmental Health and Safety. This is an important topic because every year many workers are injured or killed because of ladder accidents. Injuries can be very serious, even from falls at short heights. In fact, some workers who fall from ladders end up permanently disabled. The good news is ladder accidents are preventable. All you have to do is take some simple precautions when using ladders. During this session, we're going to discuss all key issues involved in working safely with ladders. This session includes information on portable ladders only. The main objectives of this session is to discuss general ladder safety. By the time the session is over, you should be able to recognize the importance of ladder safety, identify common causes of ladder accidents, select and inspect ladders correctly, set up ladders properly, climb and work on ladders safely, and lastly, maintain, store, and transport ladders properly. Ladders are important and essential tools that are widely used in a variety of industries. They help us move up and down and work at different heights. Portable ladders, as shown here, are useful tools because they can be readily moved or carried. They are simply built and come in many sizes, shapes, and styles. When using a ladder, you don't have to fall far to get hurt. Workers injured in falls from ladders are usually less than 10 feet above the ladder's base of support. The three most common causes of ladder accidents are: the wrong ladder was used, the ladder is in poor condition, the ladder was used improperly. Findings of a Bureau of Labor Statistics study of 1,400 ladder accidents back up NIOSH's classifications. 57% of fall victims in the study were holding objects with one or both hands while climbing or descending the ladder. 30% had wet, greasy, or oily shoes. 53% of straight ladders had not been secured or braced at the bottom, and 61% had not been secured at the top. 66% of accident victims have never been trained in how to inspect ladders for defects before using them. And lastly, 73% had not been provided with or consulted written instructions on the safe use of ladders. Think about how each of these hazards could cause a ladder accident. Fortunately, ladder accidents can be prevented. You don't have to suffer a painful, possibly disabling injury. You have the power to prevent ladder accidents by taking 5 simple steps. Inspect ladders carefully before use. You want to ensure there are no cracked or broken rungs. Follow ladder safety rules and regulations. Use your common sense, only one person on the ladder at a time. Avoid risky behavior when using ladders. And lastly, report safety problems with ladders right away. Okay, now let's start getting specific. We'll start with selecting the right ladder for the job. To begin with, a ladder must be the right height for the job so you don't have to overreach. A step ladder should be tall enough so that you don't have to stand on the top two steps, which would leave you nothing to hold on to. A straight or extension ladder should be tall enough so you don't have to stand on the top 4 rungs. Secondly, a ladder must have the capacity to support the weight that will be on it. Remember that the total weight step ladders are self-supporting and good for low heights. As we see, the person in the picture of the right has on fall protection. This is because when they go up their portable ladder, they are above the height of the guardrail, which is protecting them from a fall. This is something to consider when you're using a step ladder. Extension and straight ladders lean against walls, allowing for higher reach. Each ladder will have a duty rating. Type 1AA is special duty, 375 pounds. Type 1A, extra heavy duty, is 300 pounds. Type 1, heavy duty, is 250 pounds. Type 2, medium duty, 225 pounds. And Type 3 is light duty, 200 pounds. It is important to know what the duty rating of the ladder is prior to use. So when you select your ladder, it is designed to hold the necessary load, including the worker and equipment. Use only Type 1A or Type 1 in an industrial setting. Do not assume that a longer ladder has a higher duty rating. There is no relationship between length and duty rating. The American National Standards Institute, better known as ANSI, requires that a duty rating sticker be placed on the side of every ladder so users can determine if they have the correct type of ladder for each task or job. Never use a metal ladder around electricity. The metal ladder can become a conductor, corrosives, or flammables. This could cause an electric shock and start a fire. When you need to inspect your ladder prior to use, these are items that you would look for. You want to look at each step and rung. Make sure they are not wet or slick. You want to check each side rails and make sure they are not damaged. You want to look at each metal parts and lubricate if necessary. You want to see if the rope, if is with that ladder, is not worn or frayed. You want to take a look at your locking devices or the spreaders. Make sure they are in place, connected, and working properly. If you have a wood ladder, you want to look for splinters or sharp edges. Make sure they have been filed down. Do not use a wooden ladder that has been painted. You want to look at the safety feet, that they're solid and in place. And if you have a metal ladder, you want to make sure it's free of dents and bent parts. You also should inspect ladders following any tip overs or possible damage to a ladder that has been struck by something, hit something, or been dropped. When you uncover a safety problem with a ladder during an inspection, don't use it. Instead, remove it from service and tag it to make sure no one else uses it. For example, write "Do not use" in big bold letters on the tag and attach it to the ladder where it can easily be seen. Don't try to repair the ladder yourself. Just report the problem to maintenance and let them handle it from there. They'll fix the ladder if they can, or it'll be replaced with a new ladder. To avoid ladder accidents, you have to set up ladders correctly. Remember these setup tips. Place the ladder on a firm, level surface and check to make sure the ladder is stable. Use wide boards under the ladder to give stability if the ground is soft. Never set the ladder on top of a drum, a stack of pallets, or other objects to gain more height. Use a taller ladder instead. If you set up a ladder on such an unstable base, you're asking for an accident. Never set up a ladder in front of a door unless the door is locked or blocked, or you've got someone standing on the other side to keep people from opening the door. Never lean a ladder against a surface that isn't strong enough to support your weight, such as a window or an object that might move under your weight. Never fasten two ladders together for additional height. Instead, use a taller ladder or an extension ladder designed for two ladder coupling. And make sure the spreaders on stepladders are fully extended and locked in place, and that locking devices on extension ladders are secured. Here are some tips for extension ladders. The 4-to-1 rule for extension ladders, and place the base of the ladder 1 foot from the wall for every 4 feet between the base and the support point. For example, if it is 8 feet from the base of the ladder to its support point, the base of the ladder should be 2 feet away from the building. Another way to think of the 4-to-1 rule is to count the rungs between the base and the support point and then divide by 4. For example, say you count 8 rungs between the base and the support point. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So in this case, you should place the base of the ladder 2 feet from the wall. Extension ladders should have at least 3 feet above a support point above the top of the edge of the roof. Also, make sure that the upper section of the extension ladder overlaps and rests with the bottom section. This overlap should always be on the climbing side of the ladder. For ladders of 36 feet or more, the overlap should be at least 3 feet. And you want to secure the ladder at the top and the bottom. When using a ladder, you want to climb up the ladder with both hands free and facing the ladder. Always allow for 3 points of contact with the ladder. The 3 points of contact is 2 hands and 1 foot, or 1 hand and 2 feet. This reduces the chances of falling. The person on the left is facing away from the ladder while they are descending. This is not a safe way to exit the ladder. On the right side, this person is facing the ladder while they are descending. This is the proper way to descend from a ladder. When climbing or descending on a ladder, remember these safety rules. Check your shoes before you climb and wipe off wet, muddy, or greasy soles. Allow only one person on the ladder at a time. Face the ladder when you go up or down, holding onto the side rails with both hands as you climb. Maintain 3 points of contact with the ladder at all times. Don't climb higher than the 4th rung from the top of a straight ladder or extension ladder. And do not climb higher than the 2nd step from the top on the step ladder. Carry tools on the belt or shoulder strap or hoist them up once you're atop the ladder. Never slide down a ladder. Descend safely, lowering 1 foot at a time and holding on to the side rails with both hands. Never climb a ladder if you are very tired, feeling ill, on medication that affects alertness or balance, or if you are impaired by alcohol or drugs. When working on a ladder, remember these do's and don'ts. Do keep one hand on the side rail at all times. Do keep your body centered on the ladder. A good rule of thumb is to keep your belt buckle between the rails. Do keep your body straight and as close to the ladder as possible. Do move carefully and slowly when working on a ladder. Don't lean too far in either direction. Overreaching is a major cause of the ladder to fall. Don't reach too far overhead either. Use a taller ladder to reach higher if necessary. Don't try to reposition the ladder while you're standing on it. Get down and move it. Ladders must be well maintained to keep them in good, safe working condition and to make them last longer. Routine ladder maintenance should include checking joints between the steps and side rails to make sure they're tight, testing hardware and fittings to make sure they're secure, lubricating movable parts when necessary so they operate freely, replacing worn rope on extension ladders, making sure safety feet are in good condition, and cleaning rungs and steps to keep them free of grease and oil. Remember that ladder repairs should be made only by qualified personnel. Some regulations may prohibit repairs from being made. Be sure to check with your maintenance group. Proper storage is also important to keep ladders in safe condition. Ladders should be stored securely, out of the way, so people cannot trip or fall on them. Short step ladders can be stored vertically. Straight ladders should be stored flat on racks with adequate support to keep from sagging or hung horizontally on wall hooks. Never store materials on top of a ladder that is stored horizontally. This could damage the ladder or cause it to warp. All ladders should be kept in a well-ventilated area, away from heat and moisture. When transporting ladders, remember these safety rules. Carry a ladder with another person when possible. If you must carry a ladder alone, Balance the center on your shoulder, keeping the front end above your head and the back end near the ground. Be especially careful going around corners, down narrow aisles, or in close quarters where others are working. If you are transporting a ladder in a vehicle, make sure it doesn't stick out too far from the front, back, or sides of your vehicle. Secure the ladder with ties so that it can't move or fall off while the vehicle is moving. Is this person working safely? No, they are using paint cans as their ladder. What about these two people? Are they working safely? We do not use step ladders on scaffolding. If you need to reach higher when using scaffolding, you need to add another layer. Is this the correct way to work safely? No, you are correct. This person is standing on the top step of the ladder. Is this the type of shoe to wear on the ladder? No, you are correct. You would want to wear a non-slip sole work shoe when working on the ladder. Shoes with no backs or open-toed shoes are not proper footwear when working with a ladder. So some key points to remember. Ladder accidents can cause serious injuries or death, and you have the power to prevent accidents. Always choose the right ladder for the job and inspect before use. Set up ladders correctly and climb safely. Be careful when working on ladders and avoid overreaching. For additional information, you can contact our office at 252 East Maxwell Street, Lexington, Kentucky 40506. Our website is www.ehs.uky.com. My name is Michelle Lauer, and I am a safety specialist. My phone number is 859 257 9739. Or you can email me at mla263@uky.edu. And thank you for attending our course today. The next step is to take the ladder safety quiz to complete your training.